So you're making $400K a year.
Yeah.
You finally, in some ways, made it according to your professor.
Right.
But your mindset's still a little broken.
Mm-hmm.
You're really not a millionaire yet.
No.
But you've done well. You've made it more than anyone else in your family.
Yeah.
So what? Like, you could have just said, "Cool."
Right. Well, I did say cool.
Okay.
I mean, that was it. I mean, like, you know, I mean, the story doesn't end there, but
yeah,
that for a long period of time, I was in that space of making a lot of money, saving a lot of money, and having some good times and spending it, you know, going to Vegas or whatever it is that was, you know, the vice at the time, and that was it. And then two things happened. One, the guy who was was in my office got fired. Did something wrong. I don't know what he did. No one knows what he did. But one day he went from making $450, $500 to zero. And that was a huge wake-up call for me, because it was like, okay, so I'm still not free. Right? I'm still trading my time for money. I'm still having to do the things that maybe I don't necessarily want to do because I need this paycheck.
Right.
So then my mind started thinking, well, now how do I get to the point where that is not the case, right? How do I get to the point where I can be financially free? I don't have to trade my time for money, and I can do it on my own terms, right? And so then my mentor knew that I was making all this money. He said, "What are you doing with all that money?" I said, the joke was I was, you know, keeping it in my mattress. Because ultimately it was in the bank, so it might as well have been in my mattress. I mean, it was in the bank, sitting in my savings and checking account. And he said, "Why don't you take that money and go do some real estate with it?" And that was the birth.
Where'd that mentor come from?
So he came from the insurance business.
Okay.
And he was a very successful entrepreneur. He had his own firm, and he made his own rules. And he also did real estate. And so he encouraged me to do my first real estate deal.
Boom.
And that was it.
First deal.
Yeah.
Walk us through how you entered into real estate investing.
Yeah, so I mean, and it was very passive. But he said, "Hey, come do this deal with me. You're gonna give me $250,000, and we're gonna buy a commercial real estate property." And I said, "Okay, let's do that." And meanwhile, I mean, I had just saved about $1 million. Like, I was just on that $1 million threshold, and now I'm about to give $250,000 to my mentor to go do a commercial real estate deal. And he said, "If something happens, this deal goes bad, I'll give you $250 back." Who says that? No one says that, but he said it. So I'm like, well, I have nothing to lose. This is all I'm playing now with the house's money. So the deal was we went in as a limited partner. We bought a commercial real estate property. The hopes was that we were going to hold it for 7 years, sell it, and at 7 years we were going to double our money and make some dividends along the way. Well, we doubled it in 3 years. We sold it in 3 years. And the hedge fund that bought the company or bought the building is still giving us dividend checks.
Wow. So you guys stayed in the project as equity holders. No more control, still getting money.
Yes.
Wow.
So if you think about it, so like in my world, I just made $250,000 in 3 years, and I did absolutely, positively nothing.
And how long working in that job would it have taken you to save $250,000?
Exactly.
How many, really?
Think about. At least 5 years, right? Because you got to think about this too. You know, when you're a W-2 employee, I don't care what the number is, it's half that once you get home.
Yeah.
Because of taxes. So
right.
if you're paying W-2 taxes on $400,000, you're left with $200,000, and then you have your expenses.
Right.
So how long does it take you to make $250,000, right? In a W-2 job? A long time. Where I just made $250,000 in 3 years, I did absolutely nothing, and then we 1031 exchanged the money. So now I don't pay any taxes on it. And so now we've got 3 more commercial real estate buildings that are really, 250 I started with, then 250 that I made, and now those buildings are providing me dividends checks.
Cash flow.
So
then you're still working you're still making your 400K, 500K,
yeah.
and now you're starting to build some more income streams.
Exactly.
And that savings going from $1 million to $1.5 million to $2 million, you can start putting more and more in.
Yeah.
I
mean, and then you get the itch, right? Then you find. Then it was okay. So now, how do we do residential? How do we do apartment complexes? How do we do hard money? Hard money lending? How do we do flips? How do we do? I mean, so now the company that was, call it 10-year-old company, is now outpacing my W-2 income by far.
Wow.
By far. So it's
that took how many years? 10 years?
Took 10 years.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and you got to think about the first 3 that did nothing. So that was just I'm going to place some capital and then just sit back. And so really I got serious on real estate 5 years ago. That's when I really got serious on real estate. Finding deals, sourcing deals, flipping homes, hard money lending, buying and holding. Like, that's when I got serious 5 years ago. And now the portfolio looks like 50 doors across the country. We've got 3 commercial buildings. We've got 25 projects going right now. We've raised, millions of dollars for other people's money that we are now investing on their behalf. I mean, the company has shaped itself to be a real company, and it's mine, right? I don't have to. I make the rules on it, and that feels good because that's freedom.
Yeah. Hey, I hope you enjoyed so much this video with Karl. If you want to see the last and final part, click right here, or we're going to post in the show notes below. Also, if you've enjoyed the series, you want to see more ride-alongs like this, leave us a comment in the below. Let us know what you're liking, and make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video. Think wealthy. Cheers.